Hey, I'm Brent Keeling with the National PERT Consortium from Emory University, here with another distinguished member from the PERT Consortium who's our new treasurer on the board. I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Geno Merli, and I'm from Thomas Jefferson University Hospital in Philadelphia. And I got interested in PE back when I was an intern, when a patient of mine...
That was just like 5 years ago, right, Geno?
Yeah, it was about 5 years ago.
Right.
Who died of a pulmonary embolism. She was a school teacher, came in for a hip operation, and died 2 days after the operation.
Oh, goodness.
From that day forward, I became interested in how to prevent the complication, and then got more interested in the treatment.
Interesting. So you've been more interested in prevention of venous thromboembolic disease for most of your career. How have you seen that? How have you seen the prevention develop? Because when I was a resident a little bit after you, and we were, relying on pneumatic compression stockings and less along the chemoprophylactic side of things. And so that paradigm has changed. How's it changed for you throughout the course of your career?
Well, I think the paradigm for us has changed in the sense that in the beginning we had medications, mechanical processes to prevent blood clots, compression devices, sleeves. But then the orthopedic people really brought the whole idea of multimodal management. Early mobilization, pharmacologic prophylaxis, compression sleeves, mechanical prophylaxis, to the era of healthcare as a team, which changed the whole picture. And orthopedics thought that was the best way to go, and I think they're exactly right. So I think we
Don't tell them that, though.
No, I try not to tell them too much because, of course, they gloat.
That's right, of course.
But I think the point is this team approach is where we're all headed now. How are we going to do this as a team to prevent clots? Now, we spent a lot of time doing prevention over the last 20 years, and still we've not reached that process because we still have pulmonary embolism as a complication after surgery.
And the incidence is rather stable, as Dr. Height told us the other day.
Exactly. So
what do we do about that?
So we can do more education, patient-focused education, hospital-directed education, making hospitals make this part of their electronic medical record, house staff education, nursing education. But I think if we create the team approach to this process in the hospitals, we'll have more eyes looking at prevention. Right. I'll give you an example.
So incorporate your pharmacists, for instance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at our place, we looked at compression sleeves. The nurses did an assessment for 3 straight days of use of compression sleeves. 75% of the time, they're not being used correctly. They weren't on the patient. They weren't plugged in.
Yeah.
It was an amazing process.
They're compressing the sheets on the bed.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So what we did was we said, okay, we have a team approach now. Doctor writes the order. Nurses manage the compression devices. They log it in. And we showed that by monitoring, our compression sleeve use went up to 95%. It drops down if you stop monitoring. So monitoring, team approach, constantly bringing you back the information. So, if you measure things, it helps you change the process. Right. So that's where we got prevention, teamwork. That's where I think PERT comes in, changing the model of treating PE as a team.
Switching gears just a little bit, you were just elected the treasurer of this esteemed organization, esteemed and very old organization. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Talk about the future of the National PERT Consortium from a financial standpoint. What do you think it's going to take to keep this a viable and sustainable organization from an economic perspective? There's a lot of manpower, there's a ton of interest.
Yes.
Talk about some of the finances briefly.
So I think in order to be financially viable going into the future, we're going to need multiple sources of resources that would come into the organization.
Right.
So it can't just be at a national meeting and pharmaceutical interest support. It has to be philanthropy. It has to be creating chapters of PERT in different parts of the country where people become more active in the process.
And the world,
yeah. Thirdly, I think we have to look at areas that we could look at certification to be a PERT center. And we become the certifying body, and there'd of course be an economic return on that process because we're going to show people how to do things well.
Right.
So I think we have to look at multiple ways that we can support the organization to sustain it over time. And that's the key. If we rely solely on one resource, our national meeting, or pharma only, or device companies only, it won't be sustainable over the time. So we need them all together and making a difference by doing trials, registries, looking at our data, that would help to sustain us over time. And then donors who have been very influential and supportive,
Right.
as we heard from Kenny Rosenfeld, our former president.
Right. Well, and I think some national organizations to lend funding as well would be of help, the NIH and the NHLBI, provided that we can show them that we're making a difference in patient care.
Yes.
As you well know, that's what it comes down to.
Right.
And that's what we all think we're doing. We're getting there.
Yes.
Great.
Hey.
Well, thank you, Geno. I appreciate
Thanks.
your time. Again, Brent
Okay.
Keeling with Geno Merli from the National PERT Consortium.
Thank you.